Hello and welcome to the 15th episode, I believe, of Maidencast. It's Friday, the weekend's about to start, and this is the last one we're going to do for probably about a week or two. Don't know, maybe try and fit one in, and I'll put it out maybe on a Friday.
It's Christmas.
Oh, look at that.
And there's more. There's more. No prayer for Christmas.
Where did you get that?
Fan club. Got an email from them. Fan club. So I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I don't do Christmas stuff unless it's got Eddie or Darth Vader on it. So now I've got one of each.
I'm still waiting for my Christmas magazine. I mean, my signed Christmas card to come from them.
Yeah, I haven't got that yet. So.
Oh yeah. Right. So this week we've left the boys with Fear of the Dark, and it's all going a bit skoo with. Bruce is leaving, but we've got about 3 live albums to come out. We've got the Real Live and Real Dead one, live at Donington, and then we've got the Raising Hell
which we will review as part of one long live album show.
Long ass live album show.
Yeah, it'll be about 6 hours.
Yeah. I'm not looking forward to listening to all of them one after another as well. I don't know how long that's going to take.
Because when I did those ones were a bit of a cash in, let's be honest.
I like the Raising Hell concert though.
It was really good because that was something
cheesy
different.
As it is, it's not aged well at all.
No, but like a real live one especially was a cash in because it's basically the same set list on live at Donington. Yeah, at least the Real Dead one was something different because it was older tracks.
It was recorded on that first tour, wasn't it? Which says to me that they weren't doing the same set every night.
Yeah.
Anyway, so this week we are looking back. Well, we are hooking back up with our mate Paul.
Yeah, and this is arguably the beginnings of the Beast.
Yes.
Beast.
I've got my signed edition of the.
Yeah, I've got one signed as well. Yeah.
Killers Murder one. It took ages for me to get up. This is a reissue, actually. They reissued all of the albums. They put out South American Assault Live.
Sang in there, I think.
There's this one. No, there's Killers Live, which is on the Menace to Society tour. That didn't get reissued for some reason, but you can get hold of it on Amazon and eBay. You got to time it right. Sometimes you can get it for about $5, and then they go really rare. And they get like 50 quid, and then go back there another week later, and then it's a $5 again.
Yeah.
And Menace to Society, all with rehearsal tracks and demos and acoustic versions of songs and whatnot. So I've been doing a little bit of research. I've been reading the Bible,
the crime novel.
Yeah. And I thought I'd read a little excerpt from it just to give you the background. To cut a long story short, Battlezone kind of merged into Killers.
Yeah, it's 3/5 of the band, isn't it?
Yeah. When Battlezone finally split up, that was very nearly it for me. The end. I just went home and shut the fucking door on it all. That was him that said that, not me. I really couldn't be arsed with it anymore. At that point, I could have turned my back on the whole business for good, and that's the truth. I just lost interest in everything, really, and couldn't face the idea of starting all over again. I was still writing, still creating music for myself, but I'd totally gone off the idea of going out and playing again. What was once fresh and exciting had become tarnished and stale, and there were too many bad memories now. At this time, too, the drugs really took hold of me. Before, they provided a release from the madness of life on tour, but now they were the exact opposite, virtually keeping me prisoner in my own home. This really affected how I felt, and I just became a recluse, just slobbing around in my apartment in LA, taking more and more drugs and writing songs by myself. Days went by without me speaking to anybody, and I retreated further and further into myself. I was fed up with bands, managers, and most of all, musicians. Yeah, been there.
Without the drugs, though.
Yeah, without the drugs. But just wanted to get through all the bullshit again. I'd been in the same experience before after I'd left Iron Maiden, and while I'd still had to get up and go to reinvent myself back then, this time I couldn't find the strength. And it goes on a little bit.
Well, that's the most depressing Jackanory, pre-Christmas Jackanory I've ever heard, son.
Yeah, but no, it's all
children's TV.
I'm going to be... come to think of it, where is it? Fuck's sake. Yeah, it goes on about Battlezone, and we did the last few shows just to honour some outstanding commitments, but I knew it wasn't going anywhere. We were flogging a dead horse by then. They were adequate musicians, but the spirit had gone. It would have been a joke if we carried on. And the face of it. Right, here we go. I'm skipping a few pages here, and then it was just before noon, and I was still in bed. And when I answered the phone, the phone rang in my apartment one day, and it was my mate Steve Hopgood, the drummer in Battlezone. It was just before noon, and I was still in bed. And when I answered it, at first I didn't know who the hell it was, or what he was talking about. But he explained to me that he was trying to put a band together. Fucking hell, I'd heard that one before. Steve had this idea and he wanted to give it a go. So all suspicious, I had to say to him, well, who's involved? If there are any wankers who have pissed me about, I wanted to know now so I could tell him to go fuck himself. I listened hard as his voice came across the Atlantic. Well, there's me. There's Cliff Evans, who used to be the guitar player in Tank. He's in New York at the moment, putting a few things together. And we've got a lot of people looking at what we're doing. Would you be interested? He went on to tell me that an old mate of mine would be the bass player, a guy called John Gallagher from the band Raven. Now, that is where I think I remembered earlier was someone from Raven.
Yeah.
I thought Cliff Evans was in Raven, but no, he was in Tank. That's where I got me wires crossed. But it don't look like he stuck around for long anyway, because he's not on any of the albums.
Yeah, the band changed, didn't it?
Yeah, so that was it. I flew from LA to New York, sat down with them and had a meeting, and they were all there along with this wild fucker who played guitar. We got chatting about the idea. There was this new guy called Ray. He had been in a successful American band called Drive, she said. He looked the part. He looked like a rock god with all his hair and that, and he seemed like an absolute crazy, which was a definite bonus as far as I was concerned. Anyway, So we sat there guessing on, and I discovered that there was a few commitments in the pipeline already. Apparently, some of the guys had offered us a deal to go to South America and record a live album. This album would only go on sale out there, and it'd be priced at $5 because no fucker's got any money out there. And we went for it. We went out to Colombia and did a storming set of old Iron Maiden songs along with some Battlezone numbers. And from those shows, the live album was bomb. So that is South American Assault, and that's actually the official First Killers release.
And that come out last, didn't it?
Yeah, well, it's been released a bunch of times.
Yeah, but it never saw the light of day until after the two studio albums came out.
Not quite. The original version of that album was only available in Colombia, and it's got a different album cover. So I bet you're thinking of the one with the zombie cowboys.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
Right, there's another one with like a bikini-clad woman on a beach with like this big monster behind her, and it looks like my son's drawn it. But it's got a really good live shot on the back of the band. Now, have you heard that album, by the way?
Yeah, bits and pieces. Not for a while.
Yeah, I get the impression it's not exactly a live album. I think it's live in the studio, and they've
a bit of crowd noise.
Yeah, either that or they've recorded. They've done a couple of shows and edited a couple of shows together. But it's a pretty good live set, and there's some pretty good versions of Battlezone songs on there, and there's a pretty good the Iron Maiden songs. I mean, yeah, they played pretty well.
Because he's dealing with a better caliber of musician now. I mean, as we talked about on the last Battlezone album, well, Stephen on drums, he's a player. He knows what he's doing, and you could tell. And the guitarists and that he got in, they know how to do it. We ain't got Diano Mark II here. No.
And also, what was I saying? Pretty good version of Strange World on there as well. That's a bit of a rare one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so off the back of that, and they basically had a record deal with this company that did the live album, but then the FBI raided the office.
Sounds about right for Diana, doesn't it?
Someone somewhere had been smuggling up to 20 million of cocaine to the States every month. Fucking hell, I was impressed, needless to say. The record deal went tits up after that. This is the best book ever written, by the way.
Is it true? Is it fiction? Who gives a fuck?
Cares?
It's,
yeah. And I think I would do the perfect audio book as well, because I talk exactly how this. I'm watching some of my videos back as I'm putting them together and listening to myself. Fucking hell.
Yeah, blow that trumpet, boy.
I need to go to the school that woman did in My Fair Lady.
Yeah, Eliza Doolittle. But you got the story of it. The story of the fucking record deal is something you wouldn't fucking believe, isn't it? The one they got.
I'm coming to it. So,
I mean, it's fucking unbelievable.
So our new manager, Arnie Goodman, organised a showcase for us. Oh, I skipped a bit. Sorry. They left us. So this left us in the brown stuff, and as we didn't have a record deal, so we figured the best route was to muster a record company interest ourselves, having come this far in putting the band together. So our new manager, Arnie Goodman, organised a showcase for us. To the uninitiated, this is a gig where bigwigs from record labels come to a specially organised show and have a really good time. And if they've got any time or energy left over after that, they look at a band for a couple of minutes and decide whether they want to sign them. So we organised this showcase in New York where every cunt and his cousin from the music business is there. This isn't me. This is.
Yeah, I've read it, people. It's true.
Yeah, big labels competing against each other to sign this new band from England. Yeah, I didn't believe it either. Now, we do have a slight problem in that we haven't actually got around to writing any new material yet. So we solved this little marketing problem the same way that our street trader in Oxford Street would. In other words, the stuff we supplied was knocked off. We did a whole showcase for the great and the good of the American music industry, doing early Iron Maiden songs, which were already years old. There wasn't one new song, not a note. And while I, of all people, was entitled to play those songs, it doesn't hide the fact that not one of those dozy fuckers recognised them. Iron Maiden had been regularly in the charts over there, appearing in TV programmes on hundreds of radio station playlists, both with myself and Bruce on vocals, and yet this little fact didn't seem to register with the people entrusted in the future of the international recording industry. If that doesn't speak volumes about the bullshit of the music business, I don't know what does. In fact, once we'd finished, these twats actually started fighting over us, bidding against each other to sign us. In the end, we signed a $200,000 deal. Yeah. I reckon we had a result.
Yeah, fucking, $250,000. No wonder he got fucked up on more drugs, because when he got $250,000 fucking advance or whatever it was.
That's one thing he says as well. He said with the Battle Zone thing, because he goes on a couple of pages about, and this is the thing with people that are on drugs, they don't fucking bang on about it.
Yeah.
And what he said, no, the worst thing in the world. He went, I had an apartment in LA, a shitload of money in the bank, and nothing to do.
Yeah.
Said, if you've got nothing to do in LA, you'll soon find something.
Up his nose, into hookers and all sorts, wasn't it?
Yeah. Arnie suggested we call ourselves Killers. Straight away, I fucking hated the idea. I just thought it harked back to the Maiden days. It was looking backwards, not forwards. And once again, I put too much onus on me and my history rather than being a complete new band. True to form, I went fucking berserk, threw my toys out the pram and said I wasn't going to play anymore. In a fit of pick, I said, fuck you lot, I'm having none of that. The argument went on. They thought it was really good, but every time I brought it up, I just said bollocks. I fought tooth and nail against it, but there was one small weakness in my argument. Namely, I couldn't think of a better one. We just had to give them the name after that, and we did the album. So in the end, against my better judgment, we ended up going with that one after all. So there I was, going along with it under protest. And when I saw the first flyers for the band, they said, large as life, Paul Di'Anno's Killers. Well, fuck me, I thought. That's just gone from bad to worse. There I was, trying to make a clean break from Maiden and start again, and they were rubbing my fucking nose in it. So after a few more rows, we finally agreed that it would just be Killers. Wasn't anything against Maiden. I could just see plain as day why they were doing it and using the name like that. But in all honesty, I just wanted to be in a band, a collective, where everyone plays an equal part. Last thing I wanted was some kind of vehicle for me. If ever there was a vehicle for me, I'd have crashed it. Yeah, if ever there was a vehicle for me, I'd have crashed the fucking thing a long time before that. So we recorded an album and shot the video and all that bollocks. The video was shot on a rooftop in New York, and I managed to liven up proceedings by hanging over the edge and yelling at the druggies, pushers, and pimps on the street below. Now, that really was my kind of place. I felt at home from there off. Right, it goes on and on. So that's the introduction, Killers.
I mean, for me, I mean, this is what he's been looking for. This album, not so much the next one, but we'll get there. This album is the perfect vehicle. I know he's used the word himself, but this is the perfect blend for his voice. His voice is better here, in my opinion, better here than on any Maiden album, and better here than on anything he's ever done before or since.
This is what he should have done with Battlezone. This is what Battlezone should have been.
Yeah, I'll say, because obviously we've talked about how Battlezone morphed into this. There's 3/5 of the band in it. He's got a couple of fucking decent players to join him. And he's got a real band. He's got a band who can fucking guitarist who can shred as well as not shred. He's got a drummer who can smash it. He's got a competent bass player. And this is his definitive album for me. And I told him so when we met him at Carnival.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, he was quite surprised.
Yeah, he was.
Everyone was bringing all their running free singles
that's
and their Soundhouse tape knockoffs.
And I said to him, this is the best thing you've ever done. And he was like, fucking hell, really? That's great. It was refreshing for him to hear. Yeah.
And I don't know which one of us went first, but yeah, same thing. I mean, look, this is my favourite album. So I think he was quite happy to think. Yeah.
That's it. Not like you say, because when I gave him the copy of Iron Maiden to sign, he said, "Oh, is this one for eBay?" He's like, he knows full well.
Well, I mean, if I was going to interview Paul Di'Anno, I think the first thing I would say, look, I'm not going to ask you anything about Iron Maiden. No, what am I going to ask that he's not been asked a million times?
Yeah,
and I do genuinely think, which we've got into, the fascinating stuff is actually what he did afterwards.
Yeah, that's it.
Like I say as well,
especially this album
with Killers, not Killers, Battlezone, the songs that shouldn't have worked, the love songs, the ballads, the melodic stuff, the radio songs, the shit songs on the album actually ended up being the best songs on.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
It was the heavy rockers that were the weak one, and not only that, Battlezone, it has like a war thrash sort of theme, but
and it doesn't play out.
Anyway, are you familiar with Cliff Evans and Tank?
I'm not. No, I know the name obviously, but
Fast Eddie Clarke from Motorhead produced their first album.
Oh right, okay.
So you get the idea.
Yeah.
A fast punk flavoured take on heavy metal. Cliff Evans they're one of those bands as well. There's like two versions of them. So you've got the original vocalist is releasing music under Tank, and it's the Tank logo with his signature across the top, or underneath it.
Yeah.
And then you got Tank, where it's Cliff Evans and the other original guitarist. I think Cliff Evans was their Adrian Smith.
Oh,
he joined 2 albums in, but gave him a head up, like a push up.
Yeah.
The Cliff Evans and I forget the guy's name, Mick something. Their version of Tanks had a pretty good host of singers. Actually, had Dougie White from Rainbow.
Rainbow, yeah.
The original singer from Dragon Force, who's now in Skid Row. Forget his name as well. ZT something. But he was in them as well for a bit. I think he did 1 album with them. So yeah, they're still doing the rounds. I think we've covered up pretty much.
Yeah, I think we can get into
Nick Burr as well. Does a bit of. I think the band were a 4-piece at the time, but there was additional guitar by Nick Burr apparently.
Yeah, Nick Burr I think comes into it on the next album. I think, or he left after. I can't remember. It's a bit of a weird one. But musically, I mean, this I'm giving away a spoiler here, but I fucking love this album. I've loved it since the minute I heard it.
Yeah,
and like I said, this is the perfect style for his voice. All the things he tried before and all that, it didn't work. But this is almost like it was tailor made for him.
Yeah,
it's like if they had such a thing as an algorithm back in 1992, like a computer algorithm where you could say, look, listen to this and tell me what sort of music would suit it. It's like the robots or whatever just picked it out and made the perfect Paul Di'Anno album. And it's fucking great.
It's a shame he didn't do it before. I've said in previous episodes, I think he should have jumped on the thrash train. Although his biggest strength is his ballads. I mean,
yeah,
everyone can see that. Remember Tomorrow and Strange World and what's the other one? Prodigal Son of some of his best vocal performances.
The ballads on this album prove that point.
Exactly, but we still need it heavy, and we still need it.
You know. And this delivers, you know, with a level of competence that we haven't seen before.
Yeah, and like I say, the only problem is he finally finds his feet when the singer who replaced him in Iron Maiden has done 7 albums with the band, got bored and left.
Yeah. So right, now's my time.
Yeah.
Go on.
I suppose you want to get into the music.
Yeah. I mean, you know, we're straight off the bat with Impaler, sets a tone. But for all what I've said about old Stephen and how good he is on drums, and he, you know, it opens with a pointless drum intro. You know, normally drum intros bring into a song, they normally repeat it again throughout the song, or it's a precursor of something that's coming. But this is just a sampled scream and a load of tom fills, which don't, you know, it's impressive playing, but don't really do anything.
No.
And then in comes the real song with the snare roll at the start, and that's what brings the song kicking in. And that now we're talking. But first impressions for me as a drummer, it's like, oh, really? Why? But then it's like, that's quickly.
You would have just kicked in with the snares.
Yes, done that snare roll straight away, bang. But no, once we get that out of the way, the song kicks in, and yes, it kicks in like a bastard.
Yeah. Like I say, I had this album. I think I had like a burnt copy that you gave me.
I think I did. I've championed this.
I couldn't find this anywhere and said it was reissued.
I think I got this at fucking Pitsy Market or something. You know, this was like a complete random. Turned it over. It's like, oh fucking hell, it's Paul Diano. I'm having that.
The old CD things in the market, you never know what treasure you uncover in that.
Well, sidebar, fucking Bruce Dickinson, Chemical Wedding.
Yeah, I found a promo copy of that.
Promo copy at Camden in some fucking second-hand record shop. It was like, fucking hell, and it was like £4. So yeah, those days they were fucking treasure troves, mate.
Funnily enough, I was looking on Discogs last night, and worst thing ever on a night shift is especially when you're trying to save money.
Yeah.
Someone at an online store, and it was all promo copies, and they said I used to work for a magazine or thingy company. These are all collector's items basically, and they were fairly decent price as well. But I didn't see anything I fancied, but it was all good stuff. But yeah, there seems like promo copies are the things that people go for now.
Yeah.
Fucking sad if you ask me. But, yeah, I think it's a nice thing to come across if you're a collector and go, oh yeah, that's pretty cool, you know. But don't fucking seek them out.
Yeah.
Hey, stupid bunny, bro. But yeah, I'm opening up with a nice Motorhead style.
Yes, yeah,
track.
Yeah, Motorhead. Yeah,
I would say slightly early Slayer, I guess, or maybe a bit of it's definitely fresh flavoured.
Well, I'm feeling Accept as well. There's definitely a Euro metal vibe.
Yeah.
But just the right side of power metal.
Yeah.
It doesn't disappear up its arse. It keeps the freshy elements, you know, and just.
I suppose Primal Fear would be another.
I mean,
example of what you're trying to say. Yeah.
Predates Primal Fear, doesn't it, or comes out?
I'm just saying that.
But no, you're right. Yeah,
it's fast and thingy, but not quite fresh. A bit like Painkiller.
Because Primal Fear did go a bit power metal as they went on, but when they started out, they were like, right, we listen to Painkiller, we want to make a band, and bosh. And this song is a perfect example of that. I mean, I think lyrically, Paul's listened to Painkiller on this song.
Dress style as well.
Oh yeah,
he proper has the old Rob Alford thing going on. Have you seen the video as well for Children of the Revolution?
I did watch it. Yeah, when you sent it over. Yeah, it's
fantastic.
Has he got a dodgy tash as well in that? Or is it just a light?
It's like a goat beard, but it's like a black and it's kind of this flashy black and white. It's fucking brilliant. It's like for all the wrong reasons. David Brent formed a metal band and paid for a video to be made. One thing as well. A lot of these songs on this album I know mainly from the Beast. Is it the Beast in the East? Beast Live in the East. It is the Beast in the East, isn't it? The live DVD.
Yes, I think so. Yeah.
And
I've never seen it, but I know
you have. I've brought it round.
Oh fucking hell! That shows how much of an impression it made.
Yeah, it's pretty much Paul Di'Anno with a what is it? Yeah, it is The Beast in the East. It was a live DVD, where basically a set of Maiden songs with a couple of Killer songs peppered in, and I always remembered when he plays this song, he introduced it. This is a song about my dick.
Stay classy, Paul.
Yeah. But no, a good little.
It's exactly what you want from an album opener, isn't it? It's fast paced. It's to the point.
Like I said before, it's a perfect tone setter. It's straight out the gate. Nice fast riff. Nice little blistering solo. Good pummeling drums, and it basically just sets the tone.
His vocal chops, especially at the end with the old high note he reaches. Never thought he'd sort of get that high.
He is on good form on this as well. Because the last Battle Zone, especially the second one, there was a couple of bits. It was like, this is
phoned in, wasn't it? You know, big time. But no, this is reinvigorated, and perhaps it's because he's got a band of equal. Because let's face it, Paul is he's a great singer. He's a top caliber musician, but the bands he's had around him, they ain't been the same level.
No,
he's fucking cover band musicians, you know, bedroom guitarists and all that. But now he's got some savages in the band with him, and it helps him out. It's giving him a kick up the arse.
Yeah. I think he's a bit whatever headspace he's in as well. When he's on the ball, there's no stopping him. But he's
he don't get on the ball very often, does he?
No, when he's there though, he's
he's on fire. And for me, it carries on into track 2, The Beast That Rises.
Yeah, perfect setup, nice and fast.
And then boom into a mid-pacer.
Nice little mid-pace following up.
Crunchy, great main riff. The riff it starts with, and obviously that carries on through the song. You know, lets you know what you're in for straight away. And you've got that Euro metal vibe carrying on.
Yet again, except as well with a perfect mix between AC/DC and Judas Priest.
They are,
It's just bang. Now you no longer need to choose.
That's it.
They are just a heavy metal AC/DC, you know.
Yeah. No, there's nothing wrong with that.
No, there's nothing wrong with it.
I mean, the only complaint I've got about this song is it's too long. It repeats the first verse.
Yeah.
Instead it stays its welcome by doing that. You're thinking, why? You've got the fucking perfect 3.5 minutes here.
Yeah.
And then you repeat the first verse again. You're like, no, stop it.
Yeah, and it is a great little chorus as well, isn't it? You got the back. Taking over, and But
and have you noticed that this song ends exactly the same as Impaler?
Does it?
With the fade, with the ring out, with all that, and then the high pitched.
Of
the thing, and then back into the you know, it's strange. I've always noticed that, like they stuck two of them together. But again, he's proving a point here. You know, he's on it.
Yeah, I think as well. This isn't the only album. There's been a few albums where the singer just goes into the high notes just for the sake of it. But I think the producer has a lot to do with that. I think they say to him, "Do it again and go high." And I'll tell you, the first album with Tim Owens, the Judas Priest, they blatantly went, "Just keep doing high notes. Just keep doing high notes."
Yeah, because obviously they were trying to say that.
This guy is just as good as Rob,
equal or even better than Rob Halford,
And Rob Halford doesn't do the high notes as often as people think.
No, he don't. He busts them out to maximise the effect, doesn't he?
Yeah, he doesn't just chuck them. You know, same as King Diamond, actually.
Yeah. I mean, but the thing is, you talk about them. They're both old. They're both old now, and they know how to do it.
Yeah,
they've been doing it for 50 years. There's no need to do it all the time. They can bust it out, especially because the body probably says, "Look, fuck off. I can't do it all the time."
Yeah.
But even back in their prime, like you say, they never oversaturated it.
Yeah. And then straight on, we're into a cover. My opinion on covers is they should be at the end of an album or a bonus track. I don't know.
I suppose, bonus tracks, not an album ender, because an album ender has a lot to say about your band. Maiden would never throw a cover on an album closer. But having said that, I like this cover a lot. It doesn't do anything new with the song. You know, I'm not a fan of the song really. You know, it's like of the original song. You know, it's catchy and I
think cover versions have a lot to do with record labels rather than fans.
Of course they do. Yeah, of course they do. But like I say, not a major fan of the original. But you know, it's a catchy song, but it's not really my bag. But I like this, and probably because it's metalled up. And it proves that there is a good song there, you know. And obviously my bias is towards the style or whatever, probably a bit unfounded and a bit unfair. But this for me ticks all the boxes.
Yeah, I mean, I think Mark Bolan probably. This is a T-Rex cover for those that don't know. I think T-Rex had a lot of influence on that generation, really. Can't say I'm a big fan of T-Rex myself. I mean, if they're on, all right, they're on. I don't dislike them.
That's me. Yeah, not.
But I don't own anything by them. Or
yeah, no, exactly. And they've played their part in the formation of the genre that we know and love. And
yeah, exactly. I mean, I suppose 20th Century Boy would have been a big influence. I mean, that is an undeniably good riff. That
yeah, it is.
But yeah, a good metal version of that song, "Children of the Revolution." Yeah, I actually really like this.
It's one of them.
The original Take or Leave, but this one, they do a very good version of it. Yeah,
it's one of them covers you could play to your mum, and she wouldn't realise it was a metal band.
Yeah,
and she'd be like, "I should play it in the car," and he'd be like, "Yeah, it's really good," and you'd fucking play the rest of the album. And they're like, "Oh, what's this?" and turn it off.
I think as well that main riff, that dun 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 dun, that ain't played on guitar in the original song either.
Keyboard, or organ, or whatever, or even it's orchestral, isn't it? Like, it's a bit of a weird one.
So no, but then again, it just goes. It basically scales the song down to its basic form and shows that it is, you know,
at heart, it's a rock and roll song, isn't it? You know, it's despite all the pomp of the 70s.
Yeah. So no, I get why it's there, and it does suit him. So.
And it's a change of pace again. It's not mid-paced. It's just it's a weird one. It's sort of in between mid-paced and slow. It's a strange one, but the album
is quite anthemic as well, and it's a lot of open chords as well during the chorus. So I bet it went down well live.
Of course it did, yeah. Especially that because everyone would have been that age, wouldn't they? At that time, they would have probably grown up with listening to fucking T-Rex, and they'd have been all over it.
Yeah. Next album as well that he does a cover of
Faith Healer
by the sensational Alex Harvey Band. That is I love that. The sensational. They're a fucking weird band. Yeah, very interesting to say the least. Have you ever listened to check them out?
I haven't. No, I've never had the desire because the song's a bit of a weird one. Obviously, we'll get there.
Yeah, watch like some old Top of the Pops appearances. They certainly had some. They wouldn't get signed today because the record label wouldn't have known what to do with them. They're one of those bands that they weren't heavy metal at all, but metalers kind of liked them because they were a bit mad. Yeah, but yeah. Right, so moving on, S&M.
Yeah, I mean, Paul's never been one for great lyrics, and I think he's hammered home that point on this one because the lyrics are they're laughable, really, aren't they? You know,
I don't know. There was a bit of a thing. I'd swear there's something in a contract when it comes to metal bands that you have to do one song about S&M.
Yeah.
I don't know what's so fucking fascinating about it. Even Thin Lizzy did a song called S&M.
Oh, did they? Oh, right.
Yeah. I suppose all I can think of is that in the 80s, I suppose S&M was relatively a new thing.
Your mic's gone quiet, son. We've lost you.
Sorry, am I still there?
No, you're really quiet. It's like it's died.
Right now?
No, it's really, you're in the background almost. That's a weird one. Technology, ladies and gentlemen. Yes.
Can you hear me now?
No, I can hear you, but you're really quiet. It just died on its arse.
What about now?
Oh, yeah. Fucking hell. Yeah, go on.
Is that fine?
Yeah, it's a bit...
This is the webcam microphone. I'll just carry on with that then.
Right, yeah, that'll do. Yeah, you're louder, so...
Okay, cool. All right, let's fuck that off. All right, so...
yeah, S&M.
Where were we? S&M, right.
I mean, lyrically, it does a disservice to the song, because the music's great.
Yeah.
Really fucking good. There's some great riffs, some great drumming as well. But
it's just got that, I don't know, Sunset Strip. It just reminds me of only my own experience, maybe somewhere like Southend or when
Southend or the Sunset Strip, eh? Fucking hell, yeah.
Is there that much difference?
Yeah.
But
For anyone from another country, Google Southend-on-Sea, and you'll fucking see why we're laughing.
Best place in the world, mate. I'm just saying my own experience, but I remember as well. A place I used to go to in Spain quite a lot is Fingarola, and that's got like this. Basically, what I'm saying is, if you've got a beach or a coast, and then on that strip you've just got nothing but pubs and clubs, and at night it's always lit up like a Christmas. And typical setting for that in the music video is sort of riding a Harley Davidson. And
Man of War style.
It just sounds stupid me saying it reminds me of Sunset Strip. I've never been there.
Yeah,
I have been to Fingarola in Spain. I have been to Southend.
And the Sunset Strip's landlocked anyway because it's in the middle of LA, isn't it? So it's
right.
Yeah. You think like Venice Beach or whatever is probably what you're more thinking of.
A lit up nightlife with a beach nearby and you're riding a Harley Davidson down it. That would be the soundtrack to this, to that setting, is what I'm getting at. And I think it's got a good little. Well, it's not even a riff, is it? It's more just chords.
You only get some riffing coming in over the sort of chorus when he's talking about being beaten and fucking whipped and all that shit.
But no, it's a cool song though.
Yeah, there's some good drumming in this. So Stephen Hopgood really plays his arse off on this track.
Yeah,
I like the drums on this.
Yeah, and like I say, I don't know why everyone seems to have an S&M song at some point, and don't really float my boat. I can't see why someone would get off. Having fucking crocodile clips on their nipples, then with someone beating them, and I don't really get the thing of someone wanting to do that to someone either. But
big business, mate. You can beat someone up and get paid to do it.
Some people pay a lot of money for it as well.
Look at fucking, ain't been funny. Look at old 50 Shades, mate.
Yeah, exactly.
Proved after, there's some shocking shit. I ain't going to go into it, fuck's sake. I ain't even going to give it the time of day because it's a pile of fucking shit. But
but it goes to show, doesn't it? Because we're hearing in the fucking press all the time, in the media, about toxic masculinity, yet these same... Well, it ain't blokes that went out and bought that book, was it?
No, that's it, But anyway, before we get cancelled. Great song, but just lyrics do it a disservice for me.
Yeah. Another Harley Davidson song, really. It's nice and mid-paced. Got a quiet chorus. Then it livens up again in the a quiet sort of verse, sort of clean.
Yeah.
Quiet verse. And then livens up to a pretty good chorus, actually, to Take No Prisoners.
Take No Prisoners, I think it's really good. I mean, it's the first time they've taken their foot off the gas in terms of a ballad on this. Like you say, with the quiet verses and that. And, it's some more fabulous playing on it. And the old Queensryche influence that we haven't really heard yet sort of comes in.
I was trying to
Because we've said it before, haven't we, a couple of times with Battlezone, how Paul likes to dip into that Queensryche liking, or whether the musicians, but this is the first time we've really seen it on Killers. But this is a fucking really good song, and the chorus and the solo, they soar, mate. They soar. They're fucking brilliant.
Yeah. It's a good melody over the top. Is that
yeah. And this is almost a love song for him. Taking No Prisoners is a war between two hearts and all that. Because a couple of times in the past when he started writing sort of love-esque lyrics, they've sort of fallen flat on their face. But it's almost like he's restrained himself a bit.
Yeah, he is a romantic old Paul.
Of course he is, big time, yeah.
For someone, he's meant to be this mad sort of hell's angel.
he just wants to cut up, doesn't he?
Bear with me one sec, I'm just going to turn the light on.
Oh, we've got a professional show today, boys and girls. Fucking hell. Mike's dying.
This time of day, it goes from light to dark, like
that, mate.
The little bit in the middle just gets shorter and shorter, doesn't it? Yeah. Anyway, right.
But yeah, so it's a nice midway point of the album. Nice ballad, sort of breaks things up. We've had a bit of everything so far, but not in the case of what we've talked about with Battlezone, where he was just fucking getting everything and going fucking out the wall. What's stuck? Yeah, we'll use that. This is more thought about, more of a method behind the madness.
It's more varied, but it gels a lot more as well, doesn't it? Yeah. This one's got a lot more of a common thread, and This is a band working together rather than a load of hired guns who want to work with Paul Di'Anno, for my opinion. Yeah.
You know, so and it helps that obviously three members were in Battlezone, so they've come together, they've worked through it, and they know how each other works and all the rest of it.
Yeah. And then
it's a good lead for them. In my opinion, this is a fucking banger, absolute banger. This tune, lyrically, you know, he's Marshall Lockjaw. I mean, let's not fight. He's called Marshall Lockjaw because Lockjaw rhymes with law. That's the only reason he's called it that. You know, let's not fuck about. But it's an absolute total banger, and it's almost like he's crossed Stranger in a Strange Land Eddie with Boba Fett from Star Wars, and wrote a song about a fictional character.
Yeah, maybe a bit of Judge Dredd in there as well.
Yes, Judge Dredd. Yes, that's another one. Obviously, I Am the Law would have been a big influence on him.
But again, what I love about this song is that I can picture reading a comic book in some sort of futuristic, Star Wars bar style.
That's it. Yeah, he's captured the essence of it. He's done it really well, and the fact that it's a fucking really, really good song as well. And you know, I'm one bad dude. Lockjaw's the name. I'll blow you away. I don't play games. I'll shoot you once, twice for sure. Don't fuck with me because I'm the law. I mean, there's part of you laughing at that, but there's also part of you going, fucking, I wish I'd wrote lyrics like that. Because
it just when it works, it works. You know
what I mean? They're brilliant.
Again, it's great riffs.
Oh yeah, it's great. And then you got the double kick drums really, really smashing through. What I do want to say is this is a really well produced album.
Yes. Yeah.
Really well produced. It's got everything is clear. The drums are not like Maiden drums where you can hear them, but they sound fucking weak. These drums are boom. They're fucking kick drums hitting you in the chest. The snares there. The cymbals are right mix. It's well produced, and the songs benefit from it. Especially this track when the double bass kicks in. Fucking awesome.
He says about the this is at the power station in New York, and apparently, he was there, and he's just crossing the corridor in the other studio was Chaka Khan was recording.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, so again, they threw a lot of money at this album.
Well, they had a lot of money to throw at it, didn't they? Let's face it.
Produced by Rob Fraboni. I'll look him up in a minute and see what else he did. But yeah, also fantastic chorus. I just love that Marshall Lockjaw. Yeah. And then the backing vocal.
Guns blazing.
Guns blazing.
Yeah, it's well good.
And that's awesome live as well. Again, that Beast on the East.
I'll have to recheck it out, man.
Do an awesome rendition of it. But this is a mainstay in Paul's live set.
Yeah.
Even after the bands, and he just toured as Paul Di'Anno, and he was basically, he kind of painted himself into a corner really. He was just kind of stuck doing Iron Maiden covers. But every single show he played this track. This was a main set.
This is the second best track on the album for me.
Yeah.
Or the best of the heavy songs, shall we say? I'll get into my favourite later, but no, this is a top 10 out of 10 song for me. This everything you want from a metal song: cheesy lyrics, fucking pounding drums, awesome riffs, shredding solos, and he's really fucking
a chorus that sings itself.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, the band have really hit the nail on the head with this one.
Again, the only thing is, it's just like, for fuck's sake,
it
took you so long to finally fucking do it,
and you never did it again because you went up your own arse again for different reasons this time. But we'll get there on the next one.
Right, Protector,
yes. It's another song that's unfortunately a bit like Beast Arises. It's a great song, but it goes too long because they repeat the first verse again.
Yeah.
I never understood it. You know, put another verse on, sure, different lyrics, but don't repeat what we've already heard unless it's a chorus. But this is a really, really good song, but it just let down the fact it's slightly too long.
Yeah.
And I love the drumming in this. It's actually a drum pattern I've used in songs. And it's quite a good double kick drum. It's it's weird timings. It's weird, but it's fucking great drumming.
It's funny because at times it is as if is Steve Hopgood?
Stephen Hopgood, yeah.
Hopgood, yeah. He is kind of lead drums on some of these songs as well.
Oh yeah, no, yeah.
As much as Cliff and Nick can shred when they need to, they're not really riff masters, are they? They're not like.
No, like you say, it's a lot of chords, isn't it, with the drums carrying it through, and it's a nice approach and it works. And you need a good drummer to do it, and the guy is a good drummer. No, there's no doubt in that.
I mean, again, they can riff when they want to. I mean, there's a good little one there. Again, it's like, you know, but then there's that nice little lead at the end. It goes.
Oh yeah, no, they're all. And without a doubt.
Yeah, but no, good sort of melody as well. It's a good little sort of. It's got like a bit of a galloping sort of rhythm.
Yes, that's what I like about the drums on it. It is a gallop, but not.
Yeah.
You know, it covers that middle ground, but no, I do like it. It's one I will play. I play air drums to it, and my feet are actually going under the table now playing the beat. It's one of them, sticks in your mind.
Yeah, again, I think this is a bit of a killer filler, actually. It's
yes.
not something that you kind of think, but it does serve the album well.
Yeah.
And it kind of, you've got a fast song either side of it and then a ballad style song and things. So this slots in nicely.
You know, you've hit the right formula with filler when it's not skippable filler.
No, yeah.
I keep going back to it, but this ain't Quest for Fire. You know, Off Peace of Mind. You know,
right, yeah. I thought you meant like an album called Quest for Fire. I was like, what album's that?
That is the worst example. I know I'll go on about it. I sound like a broken record, but that is the worst example of filler you can ever find on any album ever recorded by anyone ever.
Yeah.
And that is the perfect definition of skippable filler. You're like, fucking no. But this song is filler. You might tune out while you're listening to it, but you'll still be aware of it.
Yeah, and like I say, it just carries on the album.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it keeps you going at a nice pace. Yeah.
Again, another song that great DVD, The Beast in the East. This is a track that also is played in that set. Yeah, Dreamkeeper. I think this is
mate.
Fantastic.
What a fucking song. Yeah. What a song.
Slightly sentimental for me. This reminds me of my youngest son. My eldest goes to bed on his own now, but my little one, I have to sort of encourage him. It's always a story and a cuddle and that because he gets scared at night and whatnot. He has his little Godzilla that's his protector. And yeah, this is just a really great song. It opens up with some nice big chords, beautiful, clean guitar.
Yeah,
and then Paul Di'Anno does what he does best. His special weapon that I don't think even he's aware of.
No, that's it.
He does know how to deliver a ballad.
Yeah, he does. And this is my favourite song on the album.
Yeah.
And in fact, this is one of the fucking. I ain't fucking around. This is one. I haven't heard many better power ballads by metal bands than this ever. You know, you're talking your Cemetery Gates and your stuff like this, and your Unforgivens and that. This song should be there, listed in the same breath, because it is an awesome piece of music. And the solo section, fucking hell, that is air guitar time.
Yeah.
I love time. It's amazing.
Again, it opens up nice and big, bam, 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 and then just quiet, and then that.
That's fantastic.
Excellent singing, and then it just bang, just
it comes out. Power chords, big
life.
time, and it blows your fucking speakers off, mate.
But then that, you got those big fucking, big chords, bang, 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 and then they're just that awesome riff. That
that's a brilliant riff. And then, like I say, it leads into that solo section where the guitar before the actual solo kicks in, where he's just working his way down up the fretboard, just the power chord, just before he starts whittling. Oh, fucking hell. The hairs on the back of my neck are going up now.
Yeah.
Fucking brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And on the deluxe reissue version, I don't know if you've got that one, they do this acoustic.
Yeah.
And that works as well. Even without all the power chords and all that, this works as an acoustic. Just him and a guitarist could just sit there and fucking do it. And it's a beautiful song.
Like I said as well, with Marshall Lockjaw, brings it, you can sort of see. Obviously, I used to read a lot of comic books as a kid, and but this is another one that you just fall into. It's again, it might be not that good of a cheesy subject, but it's a thing of like the dream keeper. It's like this angel-like figure.
That's it. Yeah, one watches over you. Yeah,
which he falls in love with, and every time he keeps trying to go back to sleep in order to see her again, but she's not there. And he has
a mystical sort of story, isn't it?
He sort of rescues her. He has to rescue her in his sleep, sort of thing. And but again, that's a cool little fantasy comic book style thing as well. I kind of imagine more if Marshall Lockjaw brings to mind like some futuristic sci-fi thing. This reminds me of some sort of Lord of the Rings style, medieval setting, you know.
Yeah, and he's definitely the right side of cheese, isn't he, with the lyrics and that, you know.
Yeah,
as we said, he does go too far sometimes, but
just enough. And but again, it's a good song. Another sign of a good song is one where you picture the narrative in your head as it paints a picture for you.
Yeah, you just fall into it.
Criminally underrated.
Big time. No, definitely. I mean, best song on the album for me. Best ballad on the album, and like I say, one of the best metal power ballads ever for me.
Yeah.
And I'll fight anyone who tells me otherwise.
And then we've gone past Killer Filler. I think again, this next track, Awakening, is a fucking well overlooked song.
Yes.
And I didn't really realise it myself. It's like,
this is Queensryche on his sleeve here. This is Operation Mindcrime era Queensryche.
Yeah, I feel I've discovered a new song that I wasn't even aware of while I was listening to this. It's just that's what's great about this series, is that I'm going through these albums that I don't listen to.
You're getting gems, aren't you?
You just sort of leave it on the shelf. You know it's good, but how often do you really listen to it? And yeah, like Judas Be My Guide. That's one of my new favourite Maiden songs. And yeah, I feel like I've found a new song with this next track coming up. But yeah, Awakening. Let's go into it.
Yeah, it's like I say, pure Operation Mindcrime era Queensryche for me, and that riff near the end,
it's almost like a ballad in itself. Really.
It is, yeah. Yeah. But no, it like I say, criminally underlooked.
Yeah, great guitar. Again, Paul's singing his arse off, and he's coming up with great melodies as well.
Yeah, it's like every good idea he's had for the last 10 years.
There's no fucking stopping him. He is one of the best vocalists in metal.
Oh, he is. Yeah,
it's so fucking inconsistent.
Yeah,
it's like fucking Paul Gascoigne of fucking heavy metal.
Yeah. But no, I mean he has hit top form on this, and it's probably for me. I rate this higher than his Maiden albums, because it's almost like he was in Maiden because he was better than another geezer, but they were secretly looking for someone else, and they found it with Bruce. But with this is music tailor-made for him.
Yeah.
You know, he's got all of his influences, put them all into a melting pot, and it's given him the perfect combination to suit his voice. And he has got a unique voice. There's no one else in the fucking metal that sounds like him.
No, I mean, you know, even me as a vocalist, he was one of my biggest influences. You know, he's got that perfect balance between rough around the edges, but sore. He's not got a clean vocal like Bruce Dickinson or Dio.
He's got like that sort of, I know we talked about it, like the Adrian Smith type vocal, isn't it? It's just sort of earthy. It's like a Bruce Springsteen style, Bryan Adams-esque, although he's not, you know, there, but it's that style of...
You know, ask who Phil Anselmo, his favourite Iron Maiden vocalist, is, and that's what made me. I didn't realise they had another vocalist. I was reading an interview in Kerrang for Reinventing the Steel, and Iron Maiden comes up, and he's like, Paul Di'Anno, all day. Right? Yeah. You know, and I was like, who's this guy then? You know, and that's when I realised. But and you can see the influence as well. As much as Phil Anselmo ends up influencing.
Yeah, it goes full circle.
But then again, he also did that to Rob Halford. Fight was basically Rob Halford listening to Pantera and going, I want to do that. Yeah,
the student becomes the teacher almost, doesn't it, with him?
Yeah.
And it's two good examples you put up there.
But Awakening, again, a very underrated song, a nice mid-paced, almost kind of a ballady sort of thing.
Yeah. And if it was the last track on the album, you wouldn't be annoyed. It's a fucking great album ender, and it's like, whoa, you know, it's got power to it.
And then we've come to the final track.
We get into it. This is, I know this is contentious among people, but I'm going to hit it straight off the bat. This is the finest version of Remember Tomorrow ever played. This smacks the Maiden one into the ground because the guitarists do something slightly different to it. Where Maiden, they were picking the main notes, which is what they do, the nice melody and all that. It's a fucking, don't get me wrong, the Maiden version's awesome. Let's not fuck about. And any way they do it is great. But this, the two guitarists do something different, or the one guitarist who ever recorded it, do something different. He plays the picking melody that follows the bass line, which is the heart of the song. But then over the top, instead of playing wild solos, he does weird effects and weird eerie style effects. And that takes the song from there to fucking up there for me. And the fact, for the first time ever, I've heard this song with a decent production. Because we've all said about the fucking production on the first Maiden album is terrible. Yeah. You can't hear the intricacies.
Well, I don't actually have anything against the production on the first album.
I'm probably speaking. I'm speaking.
Everyone else in the world does, but
I'm speaking from a drum standpoint. Yeah.
Whereas I've just accepted it for what it is. And...
yeah, but no, like I say, for me, what the guitars do over the main part of the song with the eerie melodies, the eerie effects, the eerie solo, non-solo parts, the lead effects, elevates the song to another level. And Paul's born to sing it. He did sing it. He is the benchmark for singing this song. As good as Dickinson was doing it, Di'Arno's was always the bar. No, and he's raised the bar for this because his voice is perfect.
I think that was Paul's song. That was one of his. It was his one as well. He says as well it was a personal song for him as well. And I'm trying to find, and I don't think I'm going to find it, but he does actually make a note in the book about recording that song and what you basically said. He Paul was another one that wasn't happy with the production of that album, and that particular song was special to him. And it's an Iron Maiden song, but it is Paul's. That's Paul's song, much like Running Free. Yeah. And that song as well, I think, set the band apart. I think they weren't. That proved that they weren't just another heavy metal band.
Exactly. Yes.
It's like, whoa, there's more to them here. It was a song that I took note when I first saw them. I know we covered this, but I picked up a video of Live at the Rainbow Theatre, and I was like, right, I want to see what this other singer was about.
Yeah.
And straight away, Remember Tomorrow, I remember thinking, fucking hell, that they had something with them here. I can't remember, I'm trying to find it, but I'm quickly scoping through the things and getting further and further into the book. But he does say he makes a note of wanting to re-record that song, and he was never happy with how it came out. So it was basically
it sounds amazing, and as a drummer, I've played this song in a covers band I used to do. We used to do heavy rock, and we cover Maiden as well. But this was a song we always went to, and it's this version I learned. I don't learn the Clive Burr version. I don't listen to what Nico plays. I listen to this because it's the perfect drum. Like I've said it before, for me, a great drummer knows when not to drum. And he plays it just sparse enough to keep the song moving, let the bass and the guitar do the work. And then when you get the mad instrumental solo section comes in, the fucking drums come alive like they've never come alive before. And that's so
when you unleash,
you unleash the beast. And you fucking let up all that pent up frustration. You're like, boom, just for 30 seconds a minute, the drummer steals the spotlight and takes away from the solos because the drums on this are fucking great. And like I say, it is the definitive version of Remember Tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I agree it's the definitive version. I think my favourite version is actually on the Live at the Rainbow Theatre video. I don't particularly care for when Bruce does the song, actually. Much like when Bruce Dickinson does Sign of the Cross. Like, Bruce has made that his song.
Made something else, isn't it? Yeah.
It's like, that is his stamp on it. He doesn't do that for Remember Tomorrow. And I remember reading an interview with Paul Di'Arno. Basically, he says, look, Bruce Dickinson is the best singer Iron Maiden ever had. Yeah. Ever. Yes, he's a better singer than me. There, I've said it. Yeah. He went, no one sings my songs like I do.
Yeah.
And I think he makes a valid point there.
I think there's only one I could say is different. Or two, actually. Running Free, I prefer with Bruce.
Yeah.
And Killers. Because it was almost like they wrote Killers for Dickinson with his screams at the start. Paul could never quite get the bollocks in. Whereas Dickinson, obviously, we all know what he can do. But no, I mean, the rest of it, it was over Di'Arno's babies.
Yeah. But what I will say, this is probably the best best cover version of the song.
Yeah.
And I can see it's a slight alternate version, and it's like, I get what they were trying to do, and they definitely pulled it off.
Yeah.
It's an album. It's a song that is covered quite often, though. It's a bit of a. It's the sort of. It's the first on the list of album Maiden deep cuts.
Yeah, I mean, Metallica covered it, didn't they, for the Maiden tribute on Kerrang?
What I was going to say, I don't like Metallica's version of it.
Yeah, it's all right. You know,
I don't think I've
into it,
ever
man.
finished it. I don't like it at all.
Fuck it.
And it's a bit like the Death's version of Painkiller. It's like, right, this should work.
Yeah.
One of my favourite bands is covering one of my favourite songs by another one of my favourite bands, and it's two worlds colliding, and it's just horrible.
Doesn't work.
And Metallica covering Remember Tomorrow. Oh, this is going to be fucking awesome. And it's just, it falls flat for me every time. But who did do an interesting cover, it completely made it their own song, was Crowbar.
I don't think I've ever actually heard it. I know they did it, but I've never.
They don't cover it. They do their own. They completely pull the song apart.
Well, as only Crowbar could do, I'd imagine, because they're fucking they're unique as it gets, aren't they?
And during the quiet bit, it's really moody and thing. And then when it kicks into the bam, 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 they do that. It kicks in, but they do it slow. And when Kurt goes fire, but he does it in that Kurt. He's such a great unique singer.
Oh yeah, he is. They're an underrated band, man.
Sing, but no one quite sings like him. And
they are underrated as musicians and as a band.
He's never going to be on the list of the 10 best vocalists in the world. But you try fucking singing a Crowbar song.
Yeah.
No one. Yeah, and Crowbar definitely do an interesting version of the song, and like a good cover, they make it theirs. You know what I mean? In only the way Crowbar could.
Yeah, I mean that's the way there's two ways to attack a cover, isn't there? You either cover it and do what Killers did with Children of the Revolution.
Yeah.
Cover it and honour it in its own way, or you fuck with it.
Yeah.
And make it your style.
Yeah.
So it seems like obviously Crowbar have done it, and obviously, they.
Yeah, it's on the
Oddfellows Rest.
Oddfellows Rest. Yeah, I can't remember if it's a bonus track though. I don't think.
It must be, because I've got that album, so it's not on the main track. That's a great album. That's probably their best.
Get a reissue, and it's on there. But yeah, it's definitely worth checking out. So we've come to the end of the review.
Yeah. Sort of flown through this one, haven't we? Fucking hell, it's.
I think I'm going to give this a good 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
I think this is a fantastic album. It's a good honest slice of heavy metal. Again, where else can I sit there and say, what do you fancy listening to do? I fancy the savagery and the high energy and the fucking perfect production of heaviness of Painkiller with the catchiness and the melody of Queensryche in their prime. Oh, well, I've got the fucking album for you, because that's what this is. And it's apart from Maiden and Killers, I think it's Baldiano's best album. It's one of his crowning achievements.
I can't really argue with anything you said except for the last thing, because as I said it earlier, I think this is the best thing he's ever recorded. But everything else you said it fucking sums it up, mate. It's a brilliant album, absolutely brilliant album, and it's a gem that people need to look for. And it's on Spotify, it's on YouTube. Look it up, people, because your ears will thank you.
Yeah, definitely. If you're not into, this series really is aiming it for a youngster that's just getting into Maiden, and with this big catalogue, we're kind of guiding you through it. But if you like that particular era of Maiden and you're looking to see what else that guy did, then this is definitely the best place to start. Right. Well, I think we've come to the end.
Yes.
And, thanks a lot for watching, everyone. Thanks for getting through the series so far. If you are new to the show, go back and start at the beginning and listen to some past ones.
Let us know what you think.
We're 15 shows in now, and we've done it every Friday without fail, but we're going to have a little break over Christmas.
Yeah, Christmas and New Year's Day the next Friday, so I think we'll have a rest.
Yeah, I've got a Monstrosity video to do. We're going to be going through all of Monstrosity's back catalogue, and I've got to listen to a load of albums and put my top 10 of the year together as well. Plus I've got about 8 reviews and a couple of I've got 8 reviews and 2 articles to write for Metal Legion. So a 2-week break I could do with.
Yeah, I'm going to say you best crack on, mate.
Yeah. So keep watching, everyone.
Yeah.
Check out Maidencast and
Merry Christmas, everyone.
And we'll see you again in 2 weeks. And what have we got after this one? Yeah, we'll see you in 2 weeks with the second Killers album, Menace to Society. I've got that back there. I'm not going to go get it. You'll have to wait. So yeah, Merry Christmas, everyone. Happy New Year. We'll see you soon.